Welcome to Southwest Desert, where adventure meets the arid beauty of the American Southwest. Join us as we explore the rugged landscapes, uncover hidden historical gems, and dive deep into the rich legends and culture of this iconic region. Subscribe now and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on our latest desert adventures. Please leave a like or comment. This is very helpful. Let's journey together into the heart of the Southwest Desert. Imagine stumbling across $3.2 million buried somewhere in the Arizona desert. Not a fantasy. This fortune may actually exist, hidden for over 150 years beneath the unforgiving landscape west of Wickenburg. But here's the twist. The man who buried it might have been the same person who murdered 6 innocent people to get it. Welcome to one of the American West's most chilling unsolved mysteries, a tale of betrayal, murder, and greed that begins on a dusty November morning in 1871. Picture the Arizona Territory in November 1871. This is raw frontier country where Apache warriors still raid settlements, where justice comes from the barrel of a gun, and where a man can disappear into the vast desert forever. On the morning of November 5th, a stagecoach departed Wickenburg bound for San Bernardino, California. But this wasn't just any ordinary coach. It was carrying what would be worth over $3 million today. Army cashier William Kruger sat inside, responsible for transporting $100,000 in military payroll. Beside him rode Molly Shepard, a former brothel madam who had just sold her Prescott establishment for $40,000, her entire life's work converted to cold, hard cash. The other passengers included Fred Schoholm, a Prescott jeweler, 2 Army civilians named Salmon and Hamill, C.S. Adams, a San Francisco businessman, Frederick Loring, a New York Tribune reporter, and Dutch John Lentz, the experienced driver. None of them would reach California alive except for 2. 9 miles west of Wickenburg, the morning exploded into violence. Gunfire erupted from multiple directions, front, rear, and the right side of the coach. When the smoke cleared, 6 people lay dead, their bodies riddled with bullets. The coach itself was completely destroyed, its interior splattered with blood. But here's where this story takes its first suspicious turn. 2 people survived. William Kruger, the man carrying the Army's fortune, and Molly Shepard, the woman with her life savings. Both claimed they had jumped from the coach and hidden in a nearby wash while Apache warriors conducted a savage attack. Kruger boasted that he had single-handedly held off 9 mounted Indian riflemen for hours using only a 6-shooter. General George Crook, commander of all Army troops in Arizona, believed the survivors completely. Most Arizonans did too, conditioned to expect such attacks from local tribes. But Captain Charles Meinhold wasn't buying it. Meinhold, an experienced officer from Fort McDowell, arrived to investigate and immediately noticed problems. The location was completely wrong for an Indian ambush, open country with no cover, no trees, no rocks to hide behind. Any Apache warrior would have chosen a completely different spot. Then there were the horses. Apache raiders always took horses. They were more valuable than gold in this territory. Yet the stagecoach team stood unharmed nearby, apparently ignored by the attackers. The luggage had been opened, but only the money was missing, not the clothing, blankets, or other trade goods that Indians typically prized. Most damning was the testimony of the survivors themselves. Kruger and Shepard gave completely different accounts of the attack. Their stories didn't match on timing, sequence, or crucial details. And Kruger's claim about fighting off 9 mounted riflemen for hours with a 6-shooter? Even sympathetic military officers found that impossible to believe. Captain Meinhold managed to detain both survivors for 2 months at the Date Creek Army Hospital, questioning them repeatedly. With each interview, the inconsistencies grew. His superior, Colonel N.A. Dudley, eventually stated bluntly, "I do not believe there was an Apache near the scene of the murders. But if it wasn't Indians, then who and why?" The answer might lie in the relationship between the two survivors. William Kruger and Molly Shepard weren't strangers. They were known associates in Prescott's underworld. Kruger, as Army cashier, would have known exactly when large payroll shipments were scheduled. Molly, through her brothel business, had connections to every type of criminal element in the territory. Consider the evidence. Both survivors sustained only minor, non-life-threatening wounds, convenient injuries that added credibility without preventing escape. The attackers took only the money and, curiously, the stagecoach shovel. Why a shovel? Because you need something to dig with when you're burying $3 million. Meanwhile, 3 respected newspapers, the San Diego Union, the Los Angeles News, and the Prescott Miner, all published articles claiming they had evidence that the killers were not Indians but rather Mexican bandits, Americans disguised as Indians, or a party or parties unknown. The most chilling theory was the simplest. Kruger and Shepard had orchestrated the entire massacre themselves, killed 6 innocent people, buried the money somewhere in the desert, and planned to return for it later. After their release, both survivors made their way to California, where they became celebrities. The Wickenburg Massacre was front-page news, and the brave survivors were treated as heroes. Kruger took up residence in San Francisco's expensive Barbary Hotel, claiming to live on his investments despite having no apparent source of income beyond his modest Army salary. When reporters later asked about Molly's whereabouts, Kruger shed what witnesses described as a large, quiet tear and claimed she had died in Los Angeles from wounds suffered in the attack. She had requested a quiet funeral, he said, which explained why no one knew about her death. Except there was no record of Molly Shepard dying anywhere in Los Angeles. When San Francisco reporters returned to question Kruger about this discrepancy, they found his hotel room empty. The man had vanished. The mystery deepened in December 1872 when a gunfight erupted in a Phoenix saloon. 2 men died, one of the gunfighters and an innocent bystander. The bystander carried a hotel key and had registered under the name William Kruger of San Francisco. He had told the hotel clerk he was en route to the Wickenburg district for a little prospecting. At a nearby livery stable, investigators found his horse, pack mule, and camping gear, the equipment of a man planning an extended search in the desert. The physical description matched: short, stocky, in his late 30s. If this was the same William Kruger from the massacre, he had returned to the scene of his crime, presumably to recover the buried treasure. But a stray bullet in a random saloon fight had ended his life before he could reveal where $3 million lay hidden in the Arizona desert. And so, the mystery remains. Captain Meinhold was convinced he had identified the real killers, but both died before confessing. The Date Creek Apache, despite having no connection to the crime, were punished a year later in bloody military campaigns, another injustice in a story full of them. The treasure, if the theory is correct, still lies buried somewhere in the hills and arroyos west of Wickenburg. $3.2 million in today's money, waiting for someone with the right combination of research, technology, and luck to uncover it. Modern treasure hunters have searched the area for decades, armed with metal detectors and ground-penetrating radar. The original Army strongbox, Molly's personal money, and that curious stagecoach shovel could all still be there, preserved in the dry desert climate. But perhaps the most haunting aspect of this story isn't the missing treasure. It's the 6 innocent people who died for it. Fred Schoholm, the jeweler, the 2 Army civilians, businessman Adams, reporter Loring, and driver Dutch John Lentz. Their murders remain officially unsolved, their true killer never brought to justice. The Wickenburg Massacre stands as a stark reminder of how the frontier's isolation and violence could allow the perfect crime. In an era before forensic science, before reliable communication, before modern investigative techniques, a clever criminal with inside knowledge could literally get away with murder. Today, visitors to the area west of Wickenburg can still see the memorial marking where the stagecoach was attacked. The landscape has changed little. The same rocky hills, the same desert washes, the same endless expanse of Arizona wilderness where a fortune in stolen money might lie buried just beneath the surface. The case files remain open, the treasure remains lost, and somewhere in that vast desert the ghosts of 6 murdered travelers wait for justice that may never come. If you would like to see a lost gold story by where I grew up, click on the link in the description. Join my Patreon community and discover my art print products on my website in the links provided in my description and link above. Also, if you would like a particular image from my videos, give the timestamp for image, and I will upload it to my website and Patreon. Thank you for joining your desert frontiersman Alan for another Southwest Gold story. Check out my large catalog of Southwest videos and playlists on historical tales, legends, lost gold stories, and adult bedtime stories. If you like a certain image from my videos, tell me in comments and give timestamp. Happy trails! Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more great content. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.